Hey friends, welcome to today's piano tutorial. Today I'm going to be teaching you the song One Step Forward, Three Steps Back by Olivia Rodrigo off of her new album Sour. If you enjoy this tutorial, remember to leave a like to support me and hit that subscribe button if you want to see all of my other videos. Alright, let's get into this tutorial. Alright everyone, so let's get started with this tutorial now. In this tutorial, we're going to have two main sections, the first being the verse and intro part, and then we're going to have the chorus part. So let's get started with that verse part first by looking at the chords. Now we're just going to have three chords in this part, and they're going to actually be very simple. We're just going to have a D chord here in the right hand, A, D, and F sharp, and then we're just going to be changing our bass note beneath it. So we're going to start here with a D chord by playing a D in the bass with that D chord in the right hand. And then for our second chord, it's still going to be a D in the right hand, but we're going to move down to an A in the left hand now. So this is going to be a D over A chord. And then for the third chord, we're now going to go to this chord, a D over G chord. So again, just the D chord in the right hand and then a G here in the left hand. And that's all the chords that you're going to need to know for this verse. Alright, so one of the tricky things to get down on this song is that there's actually two different time signatures in the different parts of the song. So in this verse part, we actually are in a 12/8 time signature or something like that. So that means that we're going to be counting 12 beats in every measure, and they're all going to be eighth notes. So if I'm playing it in time, it's going to sound like this. Let me just play the chords on the beats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Just like that. And that's going to be the rhythm that we're going to be playing here in the verse. So I know that counting 12 beats can be a lot and it can be very easy to lose your place, but in this time signature, we're actually subdividing that into like sections of 3 beats at a time. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You can kind of get that feel where we're still counting like 4 accented beats, but all in all, there's 12 beats. And that is when we change chords, you see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, just like that. So now if we want to begin to bring some rhythm here into the right hand, we're actually going to keep the left hand the same. Remember, we're playing on those accented beats, 1, 4, and 7. And here on the right hand, we're going to fill in the rest of the beats. So it'll sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So once you get that down, that's actually going to be the basic framework that you need to play the whole verse. And from that, you're just changing small things here and there just so you're not playing exactly the same thing every time and so it doesn't get stale. So for instance, lots of times I like to add this G here in the left hand on beat 12. So right before we go back. So like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Just like that. Another thing you can do is instead of playing this whole D chord every time, sometimes I like to just play the A and the D here. And lastly, sometimes I like to throw in some other notes here in the right hand, like for instance, I might go to this E here, or to this G here, instead of that F sharp, just to mix things up a little bit more. And yeah, you see how that kind of breaks it up so we're not playing exactly the same thing every single time. Now this is a trickier song to sing along to because a lot of the lyrics happen in between the piano part, but let me try to sing just a little bit of that first verse so you can kind of get an idea of how that might sound. Called you on the phone today just to ask you how you were. all I did was speak normally. Somehow I still struck a nerve. And that's kind of the idea for that first verse. All right, so that's all we need to know for the verse. Now we're moving on to the chorus, and here in the chorus, we are actually moving out of that 12/8 time signature. So if you really had a hard time wrapping your head around that, this part should be a lot easier. Now we're just going to be counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, a simple 4/4 time signature. So let's start by going over the chords that we're going to play here. So our first chord is going to be this one here. It's going to be a D chord just like before. I'm playing the right hand exactly the same that I did in the verse, but in the left hand now I'm going down to this lower D, and then I add this A and this D just to fill it out. So that's our first chord, D. Next up, in the right hand we're going to move down from D to C sharp, and in the left hand we go to F sharp, C sharp, and F sharp, so this is going to be F sharp minor. For our third chord, now we're going to go to a G chord. So we'll play G, D, G here in the right hand, and then B, D, and G here in the right. Sorry, G, D, G in the left, B, D, G in the right. And then we're going to go right back to our first chord, our D, to round things out. So the rhythm in this section is pretty straightforward, but there's just one thing at the end on the final chord that can trip you up a bit, and so let me show you that. So basically each chord is going to be getting 2 full beats, but we're going to be moving to that last D chord a little earlier than you would expect. So it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. You see, we're moving on the and of beat 2 right before beat 3 from that G chord. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 onto that D chord. If you want to count it all in eighth notes to make it a little easier, you sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, that can be a little bit tricky, but take some time to practice that and you will get it down. So now the rhythm that we want to play in this section, I usually just like to play quarter notes here in the right hand, and then you see it gets a little more complicated once we get to that last G and D chord, but it sounds something like this. You see, we're just moving to that D chord just a bit earlier than you would expect. Another way you could play it is to play arpeggios here in the left hand, and then you can play something like this. Yeah, you see, I'm just mixing in a few other notes from the key of D that we're in there, like say this E and stuff there. So we loop through that chord progression 4 times, and then we just end like this, going to this G chord one more time, and then going right back to the D chord. So at the end, it's like, do you love me, want me, hate me, boy, I don't understand. No, I don't understand. Going from that G to that D just at the very end there. All right, let me sing through that chorus now so you can get a feeling of how that sounds. It's always 1 step forward and 3 steps back. I'm the love of your life until I make you mad. It's always 1 step forward and 3 steps back. Do you love me, want me, hate me, boy, I don't understand. No, I don't understand. And there it is. Anyways, that's pretty much everything you have to know for this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. I'd be happy to try to answer those for you. Hey everybody, thanks one more time for watching today's video. I really appreciate that you took the time to watch it. Now, if you want to suggest a song for me to do in a future tutorial, let me know down in the comments. And always remember to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one.